Hello dear friends, myself S.P. Tiwari from Varanasi. I am biology teacher and I am here to introduce myself in such a way that I am here to just a mentor or you can say guide to guide those students who are going to appear for the board examination, CBSE board examination for plus 2 level, or those who are going for the NEET preparation or as well as for the civil services. So today I am here with one very important topic of human physiology, and that is human respiratory system. So dear guys, human respiratory system. See, this word respiration is the very important physiological process in our life, because without it life is not possible for a few minutes also. Without food you can live for many days. Without water you can also live for at least 1-2 days. But without respiration, few minutes survival is also very difficult. And you know that in this respiration, generally if we will think respiration, so we are thinking that respiration is just only the process of inhalation and exhalation. But it is not simply this much. If I'll say the part of respiration, you see, respiration completes in 3 steps. What is number 1? That is breathing. This is breathing. Breathing again completes in 2 steps. Number 1 of this breathing is what? Inspiration. Inspiration. And in this inspiration what happened? Inspiration occurs between atmosphere, or you can say surrounding, to the respiratory organ. To the respiratory organ. Say for example lungs in case of human being. We are taking air, and this air is having 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen and 0.03% carbon dioxide. So this oxygen rich air we inhale from the atmosphere, and this process is called inspiration. And it's just reverse. When we exhaled out that carbon dioxide rich air, this is the air what we exhale, again the 78% nitrogen, because our nitrogen we does not utilized. It's having nitrogen have no any role in respiration, so it is just only come and go since it is not being utilized. But oxygen, its percentage only 17% oxygen is being exhaled. Remaining 4% is being utilized by our cells for the oxidation of respiratory substrate like glucose. And then carbon dioxide percent, that is 4%. We inhale 0.03%, but we exhaled 4%. It means that 4 minus 0.03, that is how much? It is 7. Here is what? 9. And this is what? 3. So 3.97%.
External carbon dioxide has been added from where?
Yeah, because you know that again I will discuss here that whenever this oxygen enter in our cell, then there this oxygen oxidize our respiratory substrate glucose. And when glucose oxidize, since respiratory substrate is the carbon rich compound, and when carbon oxidize, then it will be giving carbon dioxide. I will discuss in the later part. So this way, this much carbon dioxide is being added in the air what we exhaled out. So that exhalation process is called expiration. This is the expiration. Okay. So inspiration and expiration both together is called breathing. And this inspiration takes how much time? It takes 2 second time. Normal inspiration takes 2 second time. And normal expiration takes 3 second time. So total is how much? 2 plus 3, 5 second. This much time is taken per breathe. Per breathe take 5 second time. And in 1 minute, in 1 minute is how much time? 60 second. So total number of breathe per minute is equal to how much? So that is 60 by 5. 12 times per minute. This is the normal breathing rate. No. Or you can say this varies from 12 to 16 times per minute. Generally 12 to 16 times per minute. No. Small children, their breathing rate is faster because they are in the growing age and they need more energy to grow. So for that, more food consumption is also there. No, more energy required by breaking down more glucose molecule, hence their breathing rate is also faster. And when we are in the situation of vigorous exercise, when we are playing or when we are running or when we are doing any hard work or during the time of any stress situation, when we need more energy to overcome from that situation, we need more energy. And that very time breathing rate increases. How does it increase? By decreasing the timing of inspiration and expiration. If suppose this time reduces and it becomes 1 second, and if this time reduces to become suppose 2 seconds, so total timing will be how much? 1 plus 2, that is 3 seconds. So 1 plus 2, if it is 3 seconds, then total number of breathing is how much? 60 by 3, that is the 20 times per minute. So likewise, as per the requirement, inspiration and expiration timing reduces and then the breathing rate automatically increases to fulfill more oxygen in order to produce more energy to fulfill your energy demand. So that you can overcome from that very situation. Okay. So I think this breathing part is clear. Yeah. The very first part of respiration is the breathing. And this is how much? Only from in between atmosphere to lungs and lungs to atmosphere. This is the first part, that is called breathing. In general, we are thinking that this is respiration, but no, it is just only a part of respiration, and this is the first step of respiration. Second step is what? Second step is the transport of gases. This is the transport of gases. So in these gases, though nitrogen, carbon dioxide, oxygen and even some more gases are there, every one transport. But transportation again depends. Who is there to transport it? Blood. Blood is the fluid connective tissue that help in transportation. So it's the solubility of gas. The nitrogen gas, oxygen, carbon dioxide. This is the main gases inside the air. This is the main gases inside the air. 78%, 21%, 0.03% and then remaining gases. These gases enter inside our blood. And inside the blood the two things are there. The one is what? Hemoglobin inside our RBC. Hemoglobin. And the second thing is what? Blood plasma. In blood plasma water is there. So these two are there to transport the gases. Now, how much affinity of nitrogen is there for the hemoglobin? Hemoglobin, how much have affinity to bind with nitrogen or carbon dioxide or oxygen? That property only decide that which gas transport how much. If you think about the carbon monoxide CO, so the binding affinity of hemoglobin for carbon monoxide is 200 times more than the oxygen. Yeah. And that is why if oxygen and
this question has been asked in the UPSC.
So if oxygen and carbon dioxide both is available, carbon monoxide is available, then hemoglobin prefer 200 times more to bind with carbon monoxide rather than oxygen. ना, जैसे आपको बूंदिया का लड्डू दिया जाए और आपको आपके मनपसंद का मिठाई दी जाए, तो आप अपने मनपसंद वाली मिठाई ज़्यादा पसंद करेंगे, प्रीफर करना. द सेम वे अफिनिटी मीन्स द अट्रैक्शन यू कैन से, या बाइंडिंग एफिनिटी. तो हीमोग्लोबिन हैज़ 200 टाइम्स मोर अफिनिटी देन कार्बन मोनोऑक्साइड देन ऑक्सीजन. दैट इज़ वाई you are suggested not to sleep in the closed room, especially in the winter. People generally close each and every all the ventilators, and even in the village area they burn something also just to warm their room. But you know that when the fire is there, and you are exhaling, so any kinds of the fuel you are burning inside the room, in that fuel carbon is there. Carbon when burned, then it produces carbon dioxide. And the people sleeping in that room, if they are also exhaling carbon dioxide, no? So this carbon, if react with carbon dioxide, then further heat is there already on the fire, which is providing energy to react. Then what happens? There is the formation of 2 carbon monoxide, and this carbon monoxide percentage in the room once increases, and if it is inhaled, so certainly hemoglobin prefers to bind with carbon monoxide. And then there is the formation of Hb plus CO, that is called HbCO. HbCO is known as carboxyhemoglobin. Carboxyhemoglobin, and this molecule make us unconscious when it will be entering inside our brain. And continuously inhalation will make the blood poisonous and people may die. That is why you are suggested not to set the each and every parts, and don't burn any fuel inside the closed room before sleeping. Okay, so I was talking about the transport of gases, and here you see number 1, transport of oxygen. Transport of oxygen. Okay, transport of oxygen. Let's see. This oxygen is transported in 2 different forms. Number one is what? See, 97% oxygen, ठीक है, is transported by the help of hemoglobin. Okay, what is hemoglobin? Do you know what is hemoglobin? So hemoglobin is a kind of pigment, and this pigment is known as respiratory pigment. This is the respiratory pigment present inside the RBC, red blood capsules. Do you know our RBC have no nucleus? Mammals,
Yes.
no, except camel only. No. This RBC is devoid of nucleus. This is devoid means without, devoid of nucleus. What is also called enucleated. Enucleated means without nucleus. The reason that nucleus is the largest organ inside the cell, organelle inside cell. So if that will be absent, then more space will be there to carry more oxygen. ठीक है? And why mammal require more oxygen?
More oxygen.
Because mammal and birds, they are warm-blooded. So warm-blooded organisms need more energy to maintain their body temperature. Since they are regulator,
Yes.
regulators always regulate their body temperature constant, no matter the surrounding is cool or warm. So for that they need more oxygen.
Okay.
No? Hence this RBC is devoid of nucleus to transport more oxygen. Now if you see this structure of hemoglobin, the hemoglobin molecule is made up by heme, and heme is made up by iron. Hence called iron deficiency
Yes.
reduces hemoglobin percentage. And this heme is combined with, this is there with the 4 globin molecule. Globin, 4 globin molecule is there in one hemoglobin, and you know hemoglobin structure is the quaternary structure of the protein molecule, which is highly coiled. It is having 2 alpha globin chain and 2 beta globin chain, and 1 globin chain is being combined with 1 oxygen molecule. This is also like this. This way. So generally you can say that 1 heme molecule, and how many globin are there? Globin is 4. So in short you can write it HB4. HB4 react with how many oxygen? 1, 2, 3, 4 oxygen molecule. So it combined with 4 oxygen molecule like this, and there is a formation of HB4O8, or you can write 4HbO2 if you will take 4 common. So this molecule is known as oxyhemoglobin. This is called oxyhemoglobin. Do you know simple hemoglobin is violet in color, but this oxyhemoglobin is red in color. And when there is the formation of oxyhemoglobin, your blood is said to be pure. Pure blood means oxygenated blood. Yeah, oxygenated blood. So this is the way how much oxygen is being transported? 97%. Okay, and the remaining 3%, carbon, remaining 3% oxygen, 3% oxygen is transported in dissolved form, better you write, in dissolved form in blood plasma. In blood plasma, solubility of oxygen is there inside the blood, water present inside the blood plasma. So this 3% oxygen dissolved in blood plasma, and along with that it will be transported. But do you know, contradictory to this point, carbon dioxide is transport 7%. Carbon dioxide transport through blood plasma is 7%. Oxygen is only 3%. What is the reason? Because carbon dioxide solubility in water of the blood plasma is 20 to 25 times more. 20 to 25 times more solubility is there. That is why carbon dioxide transportation is 7%. That is much more than 3%. Okay, but oxygen is transported in this much, 97 plus 3 equal to 100. Now let's see about the transportation of carbon dioxide. Transport of carbon dioxide. So its first step is what? You see, 7% carbon dioxide is transported through blood plasma. Right now I told you it is why, because solubility is 20 to 25 times more than oxygen. Second is what? Second step, that is 20 to 25%. That is approx 23%. Carbon dioxide is transported by the help of hemoglobin. And you know, when this hemoglobin combined, hemoglobin when combined, this Hb plus CO2, then there is the formation of HbCO2, and this molecule is known as carbaminohemoglobin. So in the form of carbaminohemoglobin, this carbon dioxide is being transported. How much percent? 23%. Okay. Remaining, how much remaining is there? 23 plus 7 is 30. So remaining 70%. Remaining 70% carbon dioxide is transported in the form of bicarbonate ion. Bicarbonate ions. You just keep this thing in your mind. I will discuss little later. Okay, in which way? But before that, I want to say you, see, this is the human heart. In this human heart, you know that this is the partition. This one is interventricular septum. This is what? This is the right ventricle. This is the left ventricle. And here from this is the aorta. This is the aorta, our main artery. And here is like this. I can make by this also. See, this one, this side I am making red because this is carrying pure blood. This one I am making with blue as it is carrying impure blood. Right side, like this. So here you will find that this is the pulmonary artery. This one is what? Right atrium. Right atrium. And this is the left atrium. Left atrium. And this is what? Pulmonary artery. This is the main artery. Main artery. You will read more detail in circulatory system. Here I am just little writing. This is the pulmonary artery. Okay. And you see this is what? This is the lung. This is the lung. Now, from lung, the blood vessel that brings pure blood, that bring pure blood inside the heart, that is the left atrium of the heart. This is known as pulmonary vein. This is known as pulmonary vein. Okay. And you see, pulmonary vein bring oxygenated blood, that is the pure blood. Oxygenated blood, that is the pure blood. And when the blood is being deoxygenated, then deoxygenated blood is supplied by the pulmonary artery. Pulmonary artery, like this. Okay. Here from the blood is going inside the lungs. And you know this circulation of blood from the lungs to left atrium of the heart, and circulation of blood from the right ventricle. This is what? This is the right ventricle. Right ventricle, and this is what? Left ventricle. Left side. This, if you stand like this, no? This is left side. This is the right side. So this is the left ventricle, left atrium. This is the right atrium and right ventricle. Okay. Right ventricle. So this is called pulmonary circulation. Circulation of blood from the lungs to left atrium, and again from the right ventricle to lungs. This is called pulmonary circulation. Pulmonary word is written for lungs.
Okay.
Pulmonary circulation. And you see this is what? This is the atmosphere. This is the atmosphere. And from the atmosphere, the oxygen comes into the lungs. What is the passage? Do you know that? First of all, this is what? This is the nostril. And this is the mouth. This is the nose. And inside the nose, this opening is called nostril. And the air comes through the nostril into the nasal passage. This is the nasal passage. And you know that this nasal passage and this buccal cavity. This is the buccal cavity.
Yes.
Buccal cavity and nasal passage, they both join here. This region is called pharynx. Pharynx. And this both will be just coming down. Then here from there is the bifurcation. Bifurcation of the pharynx region into the two different pipes, like this. And this is known as food pipe. food pipe is also called esophagus. And its opening is called, this opening of esophagus is called gullet. Gullet. And this opening of windpipe is called glottis. Glottis. Okay. And you see, just here above the glottis, there is the epiglottis. This is the epiglottis. And epiglottis is the muscular structure that doesn't allow any food to enter into the glottis. When we swallow any food, then epiglottis cover it.
Okay.
And you see, this is the neck region. This is the neck region, like this. And here you will find that this is the Adam's apple. Why? Because this windpipe is little bit swollen here, and this swollen area is known as larynx. This is called larynx. Larynx is the voice box. This is the voice box. And this larynx in birds is known as syrinx. And then this is what? Trachea. Trachea is supported by cartilaginous ring. This is supported by cartilaginous ring, so that whenever you are not having any air even inside the trachea, even then also it is not being collapsed. नहीं तो पता लगा आप सो रहे हैं और किसी का प्रेशर यहाँ पड़ा तो ट्रैकिया ही कोलैप्स कर गई, सांस ही नहीं जा पाएगी. So in order to continuously breathing, even in your sleeping also, trachea need to be open, and this cartilaginous ring provides support so that it always remain open. Now see, so what I was saying you regarding this. After that, this one is your vertebral column inside your neck called cervical vertebra, and here in your thorax there is the thoracic vertebra. We have 7 cervical vertebra, we have 12 thoracic vertebra, we have 5 lumbar vertebra, and 1 sacrum and 1 coccyx. So in this thoracic vertebra, if you will see, the first thoracic T1, T2, T3, T4, T5. So at the T5 region, that is the 5th thoracic vertebra, this will divide into 2 branch, and this is called bronchus. This is called bronchus. So after that you will find that this bronchus further divide into bronchioles, but here is the lungs. This is the lung. This is the lung, and the lungs is, left lung is notched little. Right lung is not, but left lung is notched like this. And why it is notched? Because here is the heart.
Yes.
Heart accommodate inside this. And you find that here, this is the double membrane structure. Double membrane structure, and this outer membrane is known as pleura. This is the membranous structure surrounding the lungs alveoli, and this is known as pleura. Pleura. And inside that the fluid is there. This fluid is called pleural fluid. And then what will you find? That this trachea is divided.
What is the role of pleural fluid?
It is shock absorber.
Okay.
Pleura membrane and the pleural fluid, they both are the shock absorber. If any kinds of the pressure or injury will be there, they will be trying to absorb it. Okay? And you know that here is the bone called sternum. Sternum bone here. This is the sternum bone. And backside is the backbone. So this sternum and backbone, they are connecting with the ribs. They are connecting with the ribs. So rib, sternum and backbone all together make a cage like a structure called rib cage. So rib cage is also protecting the lungs and heart from any injury.
Okay.
And they are having major role in their breathing mechanism also. I will discuss later. Okay. But here you see this trachea branch into thorax, bronchus, and bronchus is further branched into bronchioles. See this, I am changing the color. This is the bronchioles. Branching of bronchus is bronchioles. So first time of branching is called primary bronchiole. If further branched, secondary bronchiole. Again further branch, tertiary bronchiole. Like this branching keeps on going. And fine branches at the tip is having the balloon-like structure called air sacs. This balloon-like structure is called air sacs. And this air sacs is also called alveoli. Air sac is also called alveoli. How many alveoli are there? Alveoli. No, it is about 300 million.
300 million.
No? They increases the lungs about 80 meter square area. ठीक है ना? 80 meter square area of lungs is being there if it will be completely expand. This much number of alveoli. What for? To increase surface area, better will be the surface area, better will be the exchange of gases. So for better exchange of gases, this much facility is there. Clear? Okay. So I'm going to rub this diagram once more. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. So I'm talking about the lungs.